Oh, welcome to episode 31 of the DCC, everybody. This week we've got a community shout-out, movie news, this week on YouTube, Animation Attack, Gotta Geek Out, 4-1 on 1901, Parks News, and Retro Disney. To all who come to this happy place, welcome to the DCC. Hey, Shannon.
What's up, Dale? We've had quite the time getting this podcast episode started, haven't we?
Yeah, just waiting for Josh, you know?
Just waiting for Josh.
Sitting around for 20 minutes for him to cancel on us. That's fun. It's supposed to be a host cube, everybody.
Instead, you just got host squared.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you're upset that there's no host cube, just blame Zach. Josh's roommate.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Josh's, return. But instead, you'll have him next week. So, you'll actually have him instead of me next week. So.
If any of you live with roommates, just so you know, make sure to reconnect everybody's stuff when you disconnect it. Just a heads
common
up.
courtesy.
Just common courtesy. I had a babysitter that we never had her come babysit again because when I came home, she had unhooked all of the cables from my TV and she had unhooked everything.
Why?
Because she was trying to change the input. I guess I don't know. I was just that just kind of seems like bad judgment, and I don't know if. But,
I don't know how much you're watching my kids. Wow.
But we have got a review, so thank you. This is nice. I think I may have read this review before, but it doesn't matter. I don't remember, so I'm reading it now. 5 stars, great show, fun host with interesting facts and opinions on all things Disney and beyond. A great listen if you're into pop culture at all. So that's super nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Crazy Canuck 85.
That face.
Just because I'm a Canucks fan and my birthday's in 1985, I promise I didn't do this one.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but they are Canadian, so that's nice. Thanks, Canada. Are you American listeners gonna let a stinking Canadian leave a review and you don't have one? Don't let that happen. Don't let Canada take your reviews. All right, make sure to leave your great American reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you listen to the show. We'd really appreciate that. Also, we have a ton of new listeners and subscribers to the channel, so make sure to like or comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. It means the world to us. And share a video with a friend. If you like one of the videos that you watch, share it with a friend, tell them about it, share it on Facebook, whatever. It helps us, and it helps grow our community, and people are starting to enjoy being part of our community, so that's fun.
It's always fun. Be part of a community.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think there's some communities I wouldn't want to be a part of.
Yeah. You gotta pick and choose sometimes.
Yeah. So the Hitman's Bodyguard, terrible weekend for the box office. I don't know what. Poor end of August. Just throw me a really good drama or a thriller or something in the end of August here, Hollywood. Come on, give me something. But
we've got It coming out.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited for It. Actually, and also too, you're gonna get what is it? Ninjago and Kingsman, and those are cool. But those are September.
That's true. Because September's a superior month.
Yeah. End of August gets nuttin'. So, but yeah, there was a cool animation that came out. It looks similar to the animation style in The Little Prince. That type of animation style, made by the Weinstein Company, called Leap. It's obviously French.
Yeah, obviously French. Yeah.
But French animation's really taking off, right? So Little Prince was French as well. French animation's really coming along. They've really put a lot of effort into it, There's a lot of films on Netflix that are French animations that kids are into. And you said that you wanted to see this.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I heard about this movie so early, but it's a ballet movie, and I really love ballet movies. I used to be a dancer, and I used to love all of those Barbie movies and just all of that kind of stuff. And this movie just looks really, really cute. I wanted to see it this weekend, but I never got a chance to, so I might have to wait till Redbox, but I am really excited about this movie.
What happened on This Week on YouTube?
Over This Week on YouTube this week, just so everybody knows.
This is This Week on YouTube, not starring Shannon McCarter.
This is starring Dale.
Yeah. All right, so I told everybody about Lo-Fi Hip-Hop, and if you recently watched our Day at Disney, where Josh and I actually have our own Day at Disney together, you'll notice that I put Lo-Fi Hip-Hop music throughout that video, which you should go check it out. It's a lot of fun. You get to know me a lot better. And Josh and I apparently are adorbs. So, anyways, Ambition is a channel that does a lot of lo-fi music, and they made a Studio Ghibli mix of chill lo-fi hip-hop, and oh boy, some of them are amazing. Some of them are, I didn't really like the songs, but some of them hit me really hard, and I love it. So, make sure to check that out. Again, Ambition is the YouTube channel. Studio Ghibli mix, chill lo-fi hip-hop. You'll find it. Nerd Writer 1. Oh, Nerd Writer 1. Why did I not start making YouTube videos like you? They're so great. Recreating Game of Thrones Dragon Battle goes over how beat for beat, almost every, so many battle scenes are, I guess ubiquitous in a sense where we know what's going to happen. There's certain things that happen. There's, flanking and coming over the hills with horses and, things we've seen a million times. But Game of Thrones still somehow finds a way to make it unique and beautiful and great. So that was a great video. So check that out on Nerd Writer 1. And one of my favorite guilty pleasures is the Shannara Chronicles. And the season 2 trailer came out like a couple days ago. The show's returning in August on Spike, so everyone's favorite TV network. Hey, you know what?
Right.
It saved my show, so thank you. This is one of the sexiest fantasy shows ever. Everyone's beautiful.
Yeah, it looked like a CW show.
It is. Season 1 is very sexy, and but Shannara Chronicles is just fun. It's a bit of the very first book was Lord of the Rings ripoff, but then it kind of goes a whole different way, and this one's now going to be about the Sword of Shannara. And that's a very famous book that we've all probably seen in the library and stuff like that, and have been like, I don't have any inkling to read that. Well, some people did, and they made a pretty good TV show.
There you
about
go.
It. So check out those on YouTube. Tell us what you like on YouTube. Make sure to comment down below what you like on YouTube. We want to know. I can't search all of YouTube. Shannon's going back to school, people. I'm going to need some help. So
that does not mean I'm going to stop watching YouTube.
Yeah, I know. But tell us what you're watching on YouTube. And with that, we're going to get on to the animation attack. The animation attack. So, animation attack. We're going to try something a little different here. We love Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, and you love Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar. But because you love those things, we think that there's some things that you might love as well, and it doesn't really fall into that same category. So the DCC now is kind of going to try to be a show that lets you know about some other stuff that you might like, and we're going to do that with our different segments. And I'm telling you that because the animation attack has very little Disney stuff in it. But I promise, if you go check it out, you'll be very impressed. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Hearthstone short made by Blizzard Animation. That's right, or Blizzard Entertainment. They made the most Disney-esque video game trailer / hype. It is so good. I loved the Hearthstone short. It filled my heart with joy. If you don't play Blizzard games, you can play Hearthstone for free on Battle.net. It's super easy to download. You can watch 1 billion people on Twitch play it. Hearthstone's a really fun game, and it's fun because you're always playing against somebody else. And you don't really need to know much about the World of Warcraft to enjoy the game, and it's a lot of fun. And this short has nothing it has nothing really to do with the game in essence, but it has everything to do with the game, and it's so perfect, and I loved it. And it was just really beautiful animation and a very Disney-esque musical number. Shannon, did you watch that one?
I did, yeah, and I know nothing about this game or anything about it, but I thought it was really cool. So I thought it was really interesting. So that really does prove that this whole segment is going to be like, if you like Disney, you're probably going to like this stuff too. You just don't know about it.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad you found it interesting. That was kind of the litmus test. So
that's right.
But yeah, no, it was so good, and I'm going to get to another question after this. But the Overwatch short, Rise and Shine. Okay, if anyone of you have seen it, first I'm going to say Snowball. But if you haven't seen it, go watch it again. Again, made by Blizzard Entertainment, and this is another game that they do. This is an online game where it's kind of capture the flag, or you have to, as a team, bring a payload to another location and fend off the other team. It is one of the best team-based games of all time because in most video games, you pick a character and you stay with that character all the time, and you always use that character. In Overwatch, you change what character you use depending on your situation and depending on who's and what guys are attacking you. So you kind of are in real time playing rock paper scissors, because that's most fighting games are rock paper scissors. This guy can beat this guy, but that guy can beat this guy, and so. In live, like real time, you're like, oh, they've got too many of these type. I'm going to switch to this defense mode to help my team. Like, it's so cool. If you ever have a chance, watch someone play Overwatch or play Overwatch. It's a lot of fun. But you don't need to know or play Overwatch again for this short. It's just a really cool story about a girl who's cryogenically frozen with her team, and she awakens to a slightly different world. Very, very cool. And again, beautiful animation. When you see these, Shannon, are you thinking, like, why is Blizzard not making them like an animated film? Like, why are they not making money off that stuff? Like, don't you think that?
Yeah, I do think that they know what they're doing with animation, and I think that they could really broaden their horizons because they are really, really cool. I did notice, like, with the Overwatch one, I really liked the story, but I feel like some of the elements did kind of like grate on me, like, mostly like the voice acting, and I wasn't like super into the main girl, but the animation itself was just like beautiful, and they were like telling the story really well, and I feel like they could really open that up and either make some really amazing games that are like have that storytelling aspect, or they need to jump into that animation game because they've really got something special here.
Yeah, I definitely think, their games are fairly story driven, but I think a more classic story narrative, just
right.
Very more closed in and playing you through a story like an Uncharted or something like that. I think that would really benefit them. And
I think so.
But I do think an animated film, I think, the Warcraft movie didn't really work no matter how anybody feels about it. I think there's no problem doing animated Warcraft movies, animated StarCraft
that
movies.
should have been animated anyway.
Yeah, Diablo, why don't they have a deal with Netflix just to create a Diablo series, a StarCraft series? Like, this is what they should be doing. People would love it, and it would just draw them towards their games more. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, and I feel like it's gonna be good because they're gonna follow the story, and the animation quality is going to be there. And they don't even have to make it like some big epic anything, but I think it would do well.
So, just so you know, Blizzard Entertainment actually does make 1, animated series. It is the Skylanders animated series that's on Netflix. You laugh, but it is actually really, really, really well done. They has funny characters, very adult moments. Not very adult moments. I mean, like, there's a lot of like moments for big people. I don't I know enough about Skylanders to, I guess, enjoy the characters, but Norm Macdonald plays a voice of a character, so just that in itself is. Sorry about that. The Skylanders, it's great, and it shows that they can do a series, and it's with a brand and IP that I don't even really care about. And when the kids watch it, I don't mind because it's really well done, and chaos is hilarious, and all that stuff. So I think they should keep moving forward in that direction, though, and I think they should keep working on that deal with Netflix. But other interesting news: a couple weeks ago, Studio Ghibli, which some people might not know this, but actually it was shut down. Like, no more films were going to be made for Studio Ghibli. But Hayao Miyazaki has returned. He's returning. He's returning, coming out of retirement. I've talked about it for a while, but they're actually booting the studio back up, I guess, taking everybody from their jobs it's one of those things that they would just have to be like, call like TV Japan and be like, yes, Miyazaki's back, and they're like, oh, okay, half the staff, you have to go back to Studio Ghibli now.
Yeah, I think they have like a button that they press, and it just like ejects people back.
So I'm super excited about that. That means like the whole crew is going to be back together doing this. I'm really excited to see what kind of story they tell. To me, I don't think Studio Ghibli should close. I think that Disney, the international distributor for Studio Ghibli, should invest in Studio Ghibli and make sure and have them be producing films, on maybe a yearly cycle. Or bi-yearly cycle. They are very special films, and people know that I think they're special to me, but they are special in how they're made, and the chances they take with animation, and you need to have that. So
yeah, for sure.
So I'm super excited about that. I just can't even I want to geek out about that so much, but we need to geek out about a lot of other stuff. Oh my god, Shannon. Game of Thrones season finale.
Tell me, Dale. Tell me.
It's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones season finale is today on the Sunday that we're recording. I am so excited. I just want everyone to know, I don't know if there's audio footage or audio recordings of confirming this, but I called what happened in the last episode, the episode before the finale. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody. I called it what happened like seasons ago. But
if I know what you're referring to, I think I knew it was going to happen, and I haven't even watched the whole series.
Well, that's not fair to say, though. Like, in that episode, everyone knew that it was going to happen.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. That's true. You don't even.
Okay.
I don't even know. Like, okay, I'm just gonna stop talking. I don't even know.
Shannon started watching Game of Thrones. She's season 1, episode 3, and she's trying to tell me that she could see something happen because she had skipped ahead and watched the last episode. Like, give me a break.
No, I watched it by accident. I've been wanting to watch Game of Thrones, and that finally was like, okay, you know what? I need to watch this now, and I am really, really enjoying it. I'm sad that it took me this long, but now I have access to all of the episodes, and I don't have to wait. So,
Aren't you curious? Aren't you curious to be like, don't you wonder where Ned Stark was in that episode that you watched?
I mean, he's dead, right? Sean Bean always dies.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody that I don't see dies, because I know everybody dies. I'm like spoiled on a lot of things.
So the cool thing about season 1 of Game of Thrones is that it sets up everything that's happening right now in Game of Thrones, but you don't know it until now, and they mask it by telling you the story of what happens after, like by telling you what happens after the heroes win, and then they mask it by telling you what happens after the hero dies, and then the story continues to change. And that's what's so cool about Game of Thrones. This is a very evolving story. I wonder what serial type of shows tell evolving stories, like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones. Oh yeah. Animation. Interesting. So if you guys love those things and you still don't watch anime, you're making me so mad. But no, the Game of Thrones is valid. I'm so excited. Like my friend Lauren, everyone knows Lauren from one of the videos that we did together, and Ultimate One Day at Disneyland. And I'm just so excited. I love Game of Thrones. I like this whole season. I've just been like so excited. Yeah, just I can't even. Can't even. God, you sound like a fangirl, Dale. Well, I've never wanted two people who are related to be together so bad, and I
didn't know that.
And
although that's not surprising.
And I want to. Mandy and I have joked about for Halloween we're gonna go as Jaime and Cersei.
Oh my God, please.
I know, right?
Wow.
But are you liking Game of Thrones season 1? Because a lot of people.
Yeah, I really like it.
A lot of people complain that they couldn't remember who anybody is while they watch it and who all the families are.
Okay, see, like that's the thing. Like, okay, my stepdad watches Game of Thrones. My stepdad hates all of this stuff. He doesn't understand like the podcast or like me being a fangirl or anything. Like he hates all of it. But for some reason, he watches Game of Thrones, and like I'm watching it and I'm like, how can you follow the story? Because I know he doesn't. Like he never knows what's going on. I even like said something to him about like the actual throne, and he didn't know that there was an actual throne. And I'm like, okay, so clearly you're just watching this for other reasons.
No, come on.
So yeah, it's really
just watching it for nudity. Cause
probably.
There's not that much, and the throne, the Iron Throne, is like it's
right?
in
so
much
like,
of the
movie. It's right there. It's in all of the promotional stuff, but
they sit on it all the time. Like different
and, like,
people
and I can see, and like I feel like I kind of can follow along because I know all the memes. I've seen more of it than I knew that I had. Kind of like the same with Doctor Who. So like I have like some knowledge going into it. Mm-hmm. So like I can see the threads, but I feel like, especially with people that are not used to like fandom life, I can see that this would be a really hard show to follow in the beginning because there's a lot happening.
There's totally a lot. The thing is, though, is that the only person that really matters in season 1 is Ned Stark. Like, they all matter in a lot of ways, but the show does a good job at when it is important to really know who they're talking about, the show lets you know. And that's what's so good about the storytelling. Like, you may not really be like, you're like, who's that Littlefinger guy or whatever? But the show will be like, well, he's important now. And like, you're like, oh yeah, that guy, I remember him or whatever. But I've been knowing their names for quite some time now. But yeah.
You want to know their names.
Game of Thrones is totally one of those shows that everybody's watching, and then like today, I'm going to go to work, and someone will be wearing a Game of Thrones shirt, and I'll be like, sweet, you excited for tonight's episode? And inevitably, they'll be like, oh yeah, is that tonight? And it's like,
right. They're not as obsessed as they should be.
What are you talking about? You're wearing a Game of Thrones shirt on a Sunday, okay? It's the season finale. Like there's still no one really wants to admit like they're a fan. It's kind of weird. Like I think because anyways.
Oh yeah, I think so, because this is like the height of fantasy and fandom, and there's so many people that like it that don't think they're a fantasy and fandom type person, and it's like, if you watch Game of Thrones, you kind of are. It's inside you.
The penultimate fantasy and fandom. You know, we do in the books, just because we weren't a part of the book thing, you don't know what people were like with the books. Like, you think Harry Potter lineup, Game of Thrones lineups rivaled Harry Potter lineups when the books come out. You know, like so, and this is before the TV series. So, it's insane. I think it's so funny that people are like that, but also too the show, like it tricks you. It's low fantasy. It's very low fantasy when it starts, and it becomes more and more and more and more. And there's a reason why it becomes more and more and more. But and the magic in Game of Thrones is so cool because basically, and this is not to offend anybody, but basically the magic in Game of Thrones is that gods are real. And that's basically it. Like, you pray to your god or you follow the rules of your god and you can kind of make magic happen. Like, that is the magic of the world. And that magic isn't really there. And then it kind of starts to come back. And so it kind of eases people into this fantasy world. And by the end of it, you're like watching like zombies and dragons and like even having the dire wolves as puppies, it's like it's just
it eases you into it. Yeah, I think
you into it.
And that's kind of like what, I'm a really big fan of like Sarah J. Maas. That's kind of what her Throne of Glass series does, because it starts out very differently than where we're at now, and it kind of eases you into it, but then all of a sudden there's like this big event that happens, and it's like, oh, I hope you're on board, because here we go, we're about to get really fast-paced now. But it's like, it starts you in slowly, because it knows that if you go full high fantasy right from the beginning, you're not going to grab people the way that you should, because it's very daunting.
Well, and you're not evolving the story either, right? And as we've discovered, and you and I know, and a lot of people know, evolutionary storytelling is one of our favorite forms of storytelling. So
it's the only way that you can really do long form too, because eventually you have to change. Like you know that you have to change it up, otherwise you're just telling the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Are you going to go to Force Friday 2 and get some Ray stuff? There's a lot of...
I want to try to. They're doing it at the Target where I live, so I want to try to go.
Cool. Yeah, you definitely should. It's just a fun experience. Have you been to a lot of midnight events?
No, not really. Like, I've been to a couple like midnight movies, but that's really about it.
Yeah, it's not
so
quite the same,
I'm
but
kind of into it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
And I don't really think it's going to be that busy, just because of where I live.
Sure.
But I think it'll be cool.
But you know what's cool about that? It won't be busy, but the people who are there are like, will be more like you.
Right.
And yeah, and you can meet people and say hi and all that stuff. So that's cool. Yeah, I think you'll like it.
Some Kylo Ren stuff.
Yeah, and Kylo Ren stuff. And
I need more Kylo Ren.
What about those Forces of Destiny dolls? What do you think about those?
I want some Forces of Destiny dolls. I've seen them. They're really, really cool. I really want some, actually.
Are they expensive?
I mean, I haven't seen the prices of them. I feel like they're going to be like a Barbie doll.
Yeah, like $49.99 probably, or something like that.
That's really expensive for a Barbie doll.
Aren't Barbie dolls kind of expensive? I thought they were. Like nice ones like that? Like with like nice clothes and stuff?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's been a while since I've browsed down the Barbie doll aisle.
Yeah. I tend not to go down that aisle very often either, so...
I feel like you shouldn't, but like I can.
What do you mean I shouldn't?
Well, no, just a grown man wandering down the Barbie doll aisle. All alone.
Hey, sometimes my kids go to birthdays, right?
Handing out glow sticks.
Well, that's what I was telling Mandy. I'm like, sweet, Forces of Destiny. Like, anytime when we've been buying Barbies, we'll now buy Star Wars. So she's like, but what if the girls don't like Star Wars? I'm like, I didn't ask if they like Star Wars. This is what we're
that's
doing
not really
now.
the point.
Yeah. We never ask if they like fairies, or we never ask if they like Dr. Barbie. So
it's true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Yeah.
We're buying Star Wars Barbies now.
That's right.
I'm super excited for Force Friday 2. You can go to starwars.com/news/Force Friday 2 guide to events. There'll be a link on the starwars.com website. Go to starwars.com for a lot of Star Wars news. The starwars.com website, you would be like, what would they have to do? They're always updated. They have a ton of information. They have a show, the Star Wars show. It's really good, and you should check it out. I got to continue to geek out because there's just so much. Uncharted Lost Legacy is finally out. I am a huge Uncharted fan. They're one of my favorite games of all time. I am so excited for this expansion because, one, I felt like the new Uncharted never really got started for me, and by the time it kind of did get started, it was finishing, which was fine, and it's a beautiful game, but I just... I kind of wanted more of a one last... I don't know, it just wasn't the one last adventure I was wanting. And
it didn't quite feel like it, did it?
No, it didn't feel like the other game, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Like, God of War is not going to feel like the other God of War games, and I'm fine with that, and that's cool. Like, why reboot Quill games? Which, the video game industry is way ahead on the film industry on this one with their... video games, the fourth game is sometimes the best game. Right?
Oh yeah, they know how to redo it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Uncharted Lost Legacy. What is super cool about this too is that two of my favorite characters are back, and they are two women, and it's two women main characters in the game.
And their dynamic is awesome. Have you been watching anybody's playthrough, Dale?
No, because I'm gonna play the game.
Well, okay, yeah. So you don't want to be spoiled on it. Yeah, I've been watching Jack's playthrough, obviously, and this game is gorgeous, and I really love the way Chloe and Nadine play off of each other. It's amazing. I love it so much. I'm really into this game right now.
Well, yeah, and like Chloe's such a great character. Claudia Black, everybody. And as everyone knows, not everyone might not know this. Actually, I don't know why I always assume this stuff, but I'm a big Stargate and a Farscape fan, and Claudia Black, obviously from Farscape, but then went over to Stargate, and so to have her in a video game is great. She has such a great voice, and she's just a strong woman. Death Note, released on Netflix this weekend, really. Death Note, tons of people I know around me started watching it. Right off the top, I gotta say, oh god, Ryuk? Yeah. The first thing I gotta say is that Ryuk was just so good. The animation on Ryuk, the CG, creepy, perfect, always in the shadows, which is good to keep your budget low, which was so smart, but it works so well for the customers. Willem Dafoe did a great job, and according to an interview on IGN, Willem Dafoe didn't even know the manga, read the manga. He just kind of saw the character and created a voice for it. He created a pretty good voice for it. In the anime, Ryuk is, he brings the death note and everything like that, but he's kind of more of the comic relief. I liked Death Note. It isn't the anime at all. So anybody who's worried, who kind of liked it, Death Note, or was interested, I still say watch the movie. It's like a weird, cheesy 1980s romance comedy meets Final Destination.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and there's moments where it is really amazing. Like, there are really amazing moments, especially when someone's head gets taken off with a ladder. It's very graphic, the violence, but it's supposed to be, because it's basically Light Turner. He gets his book and he writes people's name in it, and he can kill them and yada yada yada. That's the premise of the show. And he's so detached from it that it's important for the viewer to be attached to it, attached to the violence of the things that occurs, because his detachment is his problem. And it was so good. You know, the pacing was so fast. Like, it burned through so much story, and it didn't really give this other character, L, enough time for you to really fall in love with him. He's such a weird and strange character that for some people, especially if you're not an anime fan, because his character kind of has appeared in types of animes for a character like this, you need time to really appreciate him and really understand how morally superior he actually is, and really love him. And they don't quite give you that time with him. I think the biggest mistake for Death Note was to make it a film. It needed a minimum of 4-part series. I really just think it could have really fleshed it out and added some much needed character depth. I think that, you know, you should be on Light's side for a lot more. Like, when I watch the anime, I don't want Light to get captured for quite some time.
Yeah. Well, and like, I know how long the anime is, so why do you think they opted to go in the direction that they did and make this film?
Yeah, it's a 40-episode anime. You know, they could even made this a 10-episode series, probably for the same amount of money even. I don't know. I do know they want to make films. So, like, they also want to make films. And they felt like they had a script that could be put into a film, and it could, and it did, and it's good, it's fine. You know, like, I'd give it like a 6.5. Like, it, and if you're a fan of the content, that's you're gonna like a 6.5 more than someone else who's not a fan of the content, probably. Some of the acting is weird, but I kind of get what they were trying to do. But I think people are still having a hard time getting that anime expression to get across in live action.
Yeah.
I think that there shouldn't maybe not be I think how they can do that is to take a page out of Deadpool. I think Deadpool is a great example of page to life, breaking the fourth wall, and even adding. There's no reason that it can add animations over the head when they want to. It just helps people know to not take it so serious. Like, because people were like, oh, like because there's a scene where Light is like running in a room from the Shinigami and his face looks so ridiculous. Like looks like really, but I totally get what he's trying to do. It's trying to be this like kind of like he's scared, but it's a goofy situation. And that is
hard to convey.
It's very hard to convey.
It's hard to convey from animation to live action, but it's really hard when it's anime to live action.
And then it's really hard when it's a series to a movie, right?
Yeah. Like, so they kind of were fighting an uphill battle, I think.
But yeah, a lot of people have watched it. I hopefully it got some, we want them to keep making things like this, whether you like it or not. Whether or not you like it or not, you want them to keep making things like this. So it is important to at least go check that stuff out, because maybe you might like it. But I want to know what you thought about Death Note. Death Note's one of those ones that I really want to know what people thought about. Please comment or tweet me at Dale Wentland, at Network1901, about Death Note. I want to know what you thought about Death Note, what your opinions are. I've had some people comment back on me on Death Note. It's good times. Love it. It's the 411 on 1901. Shannon did an amazing fangirl collab with the Fangirl, but Shannon wasn't the fangirl, even though Shannon is the fangirl.
I'm the resident fangirl.
She's the resident fangirl.
I'm the resident. Megan's the fangirl. Yeah. I am a fangirl in comparison.
Can you tell me like a bit about like, just for people who haven't watched it on her channel, because it's on her channel, just what it was about, how it kind of came about and everything?
Yeah, she was trying to come up with a theory to connect Princess and the Frog with Peter Pan, and when she was looking up to see if anybody had done it before, she came across my video where I talked about like Evangeline, and I kind of had this whole like Dreamers and connected like a lot of Disney movies, and she really liked it, so she reached out to me, and we kind of did like an interview format where she asked me questions about my theory, and we kind of like crafted some new ones, and we talked about Disney fairies, and it was really, really cool. She is a really awesome person, and our personalities go really well together, I think. So like the entire video is us like fangirling and referencing things that nobody's understanding, and our arms are just like flailing all around because we're both just like really animated talkers. Like, you all know this, I talk with my hands. So it was really, really cool to do, and it's like I love all of her theories. Everything that she does is always like so well thought out. And so when I was answering her questions, I was really trying to be like, all right, let's actually think about this. Let's go. Like, let's theory craft right now. Yeah. So it was awesome.
Yeah, it was so good. And you guys have really put together a really cool theory. You can start off, if you want, with watching Shannon's theory on our channel, how Rey became a star. Yeah, and then, or you can go to the Fangirl, watch their combination collab theory, and then watch it however you want. It's cool, but awesome collab. It has brought us new subscribers. Welcome new subscribers, new listeners. Welcome everybody. It's so exciting, and thank you to the Fangirl for doing that collab with us. It was awesome. We've got one of them, like, to start off the bat, one of the more popular History of Ariel videos. Shannon does an amazing job. She has a lot of history to go through because there's a big gap between princesses here. So she goes through it all. It's amazing. If you haven't started watching the History of Ariel series, if you're someone who listens to Modern Mouse Radio, or you like The World That Never Was or anything like that, the history videos that Shannon does of the princesses is awesome. Whether or not you are a big Disney princess fan or not, she talks about the history of that was happening in the world and puts it in context for you. It's like a very micro version of hardcore history.
Yeah, you cannot fit it all in, but it's like
with one source, the internet.
Right.
So we also have a Day at Disney with Jail, or also known as Dale, because Josh is in all those videos, but Dale Wentland from the DCC and Discovering Star Wars. I don't know if you know him.
I don't really know if I know that that guy? Isn't he that like Slytherin who's like a douche to people?
Yeah, that's right. So if you look at the thumbnail on the YouTube channel, you can tell just Josh's face. That was just that was totally fun and natural to do. That's one of my favorite videos. Mandy always likes to watch it and watch me edit it and stuff like that. It was that was a really special day for us, and I think
you can fully appreciate the difference in Dale and Josh's personalities and how wonderfully they work together and why I ship it. Hashtag bro TP.
I think you definitely get to see Josh and mine's friendship a lot more, and how we play off each other, and how similar we actually are in a lot of ways, even though maybe our dispositions are different.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it's true, right? Just even John, there's a moment where Josh wants to be a jerk, and it's we're in the Dole Whip line, and I'm like, well, let's just do a survey to see what other people like, which is such a me thing to be like, fine, let's just resolve this solution. Let's have a solution to this problem. And then the person is like, I like anything, and Josh is like, oh yeah, so just anything can happen to you and you'll just be happy with it. And they're like, well, I'm getting a Dole Whip float. It's so that would be your answer then, is a Dole Whip float is what you choose. But you could tell he's just anything, and he's nice about it, but yeah, it's one of those things where I know in his mind he's like, really, your answer was anything, and obviously it isn't, because you're picking something. So
that's what I always want to be like to people at work. It's okay, so basically this was your answer, so all right.
But it was great. I love it, and I think my favorite moment is Josh and I on Splash Mountain.
That was my favorite part. I just liked that shot of just. Yeah, so cute.
I thought you would also, in that, I was playing around with some editing techniques and trying some new things, and I'm still just on iMovie, so it's pretty limiting. But I was playing with some oversaturation and speeding and slowing down stuff, and then that kind of carried on to this another video that I'm doing where I'm playing with some other stuff, and I'm just having fun with it, because Josh kind of has implied that he's a better editor than I am. So anyways, whatever. So so I'm just but I'm just challenging myself. So if you like something, you think something's cool, if I did a cool edit, comment down below, tell me those things. I want to know. Also, I want to, go on those videos. Day at Disney, it was a lot of fun. And again, if you like listening to our shows, that Day at Disney is a really good way to see Josh and I together. I wish there was more you, me, and Josh stuff together. I
know, yeah. Because we only spent one day in the park, so unless Angie's got that vlog stuff,
she does, and she does, and we're gonna keep doing that. But yeah, I wish there was more Dale and Shannon. I think we got to go to Disneyland again.
I think so.
Modern Mouse Radio, Howard Ashman, doing a conversation about Howard Ashman. Again, always done with that.
And it's really good, because I couldn't fit everything I wanted in my aerial video, so Josh was able to really go back and put that focus on Howard Ashman, because there's so much there with his music, and it's really nice that we can still have that conversation.
Yeah. Animated Devils, Chapter 3. I'm really enjoying this series. I like your intros, and I really like your closes, and I don't know if it's me or not, but sometimes I love what you're talking what you're talking about, and you did a great dissection on Bellwether. Mayweather. Bellwether. For me, I sometimes I'm yelling, and I want to hear you talk about I want to hear more examples. I want to hear more characters that you feel fit that arc.
It's true. Yeah, we try and focus in to make it we try to focus in on a specific character to get the ball rolling, and then a lot of times that just spirals into us talking about real life, and we're like, oh, right, let's bring it back to the villains, and it's we need more examples here, because it is just the way we do it is we just sit down and we just start talking, and it's one of the easiest podcasts that we have to put together, to edit, all that kind of stuff, because we're just having a conversation. I know with the one that we just did, we kind of bring in a lot of different villains, because what we're going to talk about next week really applies to a lot of our villains. In chapter 3, we talk specifically about Jafar, and we do talk about politicians and world leaders and all of that kind of stuff. But Jafar really is like the main focus in the current episode.
Mm-hmm. No, it's super cool. I love it. Again, it's so cool that we do these Friday podcasts. If you want to go listen to any of our Friday podcasts, it can be a little hard to search through iTunes for them, which you do, like, it might be, it's like not super nice way to do it. It'd be nice if iTunes let you have like subcategories in your own channel, but they don't. But network1901.com is the perfect place for you to go to listen to any of the past podcasts that we've done. It's all organized. It's all nice and neat for you and really easy to find. So you can go to network1901.com to listen to any of our podcasts. And now, there is quite a bit of parks news. This parks news, there's a couple things here that we're going to wait till next week because Josh is a resident expert, and I want him to talk about that because I want to hear what he has to say. But I'm going to bring it up about the Universal Horror Nights scare zones. They're going to be like cool themed scare zones for photo ops and stuff like that, which is super cool. If I had a choice to go to one place or the other, it'd be to Universal for horror for me. So very excited about that, and I don't like it's just getting more and more popular, which is so cool. But Disney California Adventure Cars Land is going to have Halloween too, so I'd love to check that out. They're going to make the tires all Halloween-y and stuff, so that'll be cool. But
we should just all plan to go for Halloween.
Yeah. I don't know what Disney World is thinking, but Not So Scary Halloween starts at the Magic Kingdom August 25th.
So weird.
Yeah.
2 months early.
Yeah, maybe September 25th.
Yeah. I could even see like the middle of September, but August 25th is just way too early. I don't want to see Halloween stuff before my birthday. It's like,
Yeah. Well, it's not even like, and not even in a selfish way, but just like August 25th, like it. So what, you're going to have Halloween until like November, right? Because it doesn't stop November 1st.
No, it'll probably bleed a little bit into November.
And then switch right into Christmas.
Yeah, they're going to immediately go to Christmas. I actually saw a pin on Pinterest saying that November 1st is like opening a doorway between Halloween and Christmas because you just like launched into it.
Yeah, but then it's just going to be Christmas. So for like half the year at Disneyland, it's like covered in themes. And
it's all going to be Nightmare Before Christmas too, because that's how you do the perfect transition.
Yeah. So it's one of those weird things for me where I've actually only been to the parks in, like I went to Walt Disney World in April, and then I've been to Disneyland only in July. So I think it's so strange in my mind that people go like half of the time and not get just normal Disneyland or normal Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I will say the first time I ever went to Disney World was actually around Halloween, and I don't remember a lot of Halloween stuff. I remember a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, but I do think it's weird because it's like half the time you're not getting what Disney normally is. Like you're getting this like hyped up version of it, but it's not even really hyped up. Like you can't even have a break.
Yeah, and it's not even that it's like hyped up. It's like I don't necessarily want like jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins and everything like that to be around when I'm trying to experience like something else, some other type of magic. And so that does kind of bother me.
I feel like it would flow better if maybe Disney updated with each season. Like every season they like mix in a little bit, and then as you get closer to like a certain holiday, then you see more, like maybe once fall starts you see more like fall things around, and then as you get closer to Halloween then transition into Halloween, because that'd make it feel better. But
sure, like if that would be cool. Like yes, if they did like fall colors and decorations, and they changed the banners at Main Street USA to be more fall colors and wrap them and stuff, that's totally cool. I'd love that. That'd be sweet to have seasons be represented visually throughout the parts of the park. But at the same time, if I'm in Frontierland, I want to be in Frontierland. I don't want to be.
That's true. That's gonna take you out of the magic to see other stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my kind of thing. So really cool thing that's happened. The survey at WDW, our friend at the Magic Weekly. Oh, I miss him so much. Oh, all right.
Wow.
Hollywood Studios possible renames. So I'm just going to go over them real quick, and I just want you to tell me which one you like the best. And it's kind of like super hard to read, so just give me a second here.
We all know you're so good at reading, Dale.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. Like, it's literally small. All right. So it either could be Disney's Hollywood Studios, Disney Kaleidoscope Park, Disney Storyverse Park, Disney Hyperia Park, Disney Beyond Park, Disney Cinemagic Park, Disney Legends Park, Disney XL Park, or Disney's Cinemagine Park. So one was Cinemagic and one was Cinemagine. Also, they say here that now we will show you some of the other names being considered in addition to the two we have been exploring. Looking at the full list of potential names, please rank your top 3. So there's like fake names that they're not trying to name it, but there's real ones in here too. I think that the Storyverse and the Cinemagic are probably the ones that they want the most.
Yeah. I like Cinemagic, even though it kind of makes me think of cinnamon. But, like, when I think of Hollywood Studios, it's not just movies in there. Because, you have, like, that rock and roller coaster and everything. Yeah. And, like, Tower of Terror, which isn't exactly like a movie. It's kind of like a TV show. So I kind of feel like Beyond works well as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's basically California Adventure, right?
Basically. It's like everything else is what it is.
Yeah. Disney Beyond Park.
Like, it doesn't sound quite right, but I feel like it better explains what it is. I'd rather it be something like Cinemagic, but it's not just movies there.
But that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Disney Hyperia Park. Just because I like that.
It does have like a kind of a magical sound.
Yeah.
Hyperia.
Exactly. And it has that there's a connection to Disney California Adventure there. It is the 1950s Hollywood style. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Disney Hyperia Park.
Yeah. I mean, I could be on board with that. I do think Hollywood Studios doesn't really fit it, and if they wanted to keep that same kind of grain, Hyperia Park does make the most sense. Either that or one of the cinema ones. Yeah.
Josh also made a new Network 1901 shirt, which was pretty cool. I like it. It's like it's like a really retro Disney diamonds with the logo. So that's cool. There's tons of ways to support us, and getting shirts on TeePublic is one of them. Shannon, are you going back to school soon?
I am. I actually start tomorrow, which I am still kind of in denial about. So it feels weird. Like, this is the first time that I feel like I have other things that I need to be doing, and I think the network is a big reason for that. Like, I really just want to be doing this. But I am almost done. This is my last year. So. Yeah.
And you do a second YouTube channel, still waiting for my Seder, and, you're doing the podcast and everything, so, like, yeah, you've got a lot on your plate.
I want YouTube to be what I do.
I know. We're getting there. Literally, like, one subscriber at a time.
Literally one subscriber at a time. It's true.
Yeah, it's a long grind. But we've had some really nice comments. People are saying really nice things. A lot of new subscribers and listeners and viewers and stuff. As you all know, we comment all the time, so we appreciate it. Sorry there was no Josh. We were really excited for a host cube.
It was supposed to be all three of us just to get us all back together before next week, but unfortunately, people, we're not going to name names.
Zach.
Dale will name names.
I'll name names because I know Josh won't do anything. Josh will just be grumpy about it.
He'll just close his eyes and shake his head.
Yeah, no. People don't think about that stuff sometimes. It's whatever. It is what it is. Things happen in life. Shannon, we made it through an episode not talking about anything super controversial. That's kind of nice.
We did. It's like the first time in a while. Yeah. We were actually, and we stayed on topic. Yeah. We had a lot to get through, and we did a good job, I think, Dale.
Yeah.
My internet only cut out once.
Yeah, right away.
Now that I've said that it's going to cut out again.
Yeah. Well, this has been episode 31 of the DCC. Thank you. If you enjoyed the show, please tell a friend or please leave a review. And make sure to hit that like button on YouTube and comment down below about how much you hate me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for everyone who leaves a thumbs down. For real, I appreciate it. Lets me know that you don't like something about the show and will continue to make it better. So
it gives us power.
Yeah. However, whatever you want to say. If you have a thumbs down comment, though, or a thumbs down, you could leave a comment. You could tell us what you didn't like about it. Then maybe we can fix it.
Constructive criticism.
Sometimes we can't fix it, like recording software doesn't always work great, but we've been on a pretty good run lately, and I've been happy with how the show's been going. So thank you to everybody in the community who supports us. We love you so much. I'm sad that I feel like it's like, when do I get to see all these people that we liked and talk to and all our community friends again? It's been too long already, and it's only been like a month and a half.
Yeah, too long.
Too long. Shannon's got the Anaheim bug.
I do.
Well, with that, I will see you in a galaxy far, far away. Bye, double hand wave.
Bye.
Hey, we did it. You doubted me,
Creepy
Shannon.
Smiles.
You doubted me. You were like, this rundown's pretty big, Dale.
I will admit, like, when you said, I made some changes to the rundown, I looked at it and I saw all that stuff, I was like, we'll see how that goes.
And I think it went swimmingly.
I think you nailed it, Dale.
Nailed it.
Oh God, not the dabs.